Okay, we are rolling. Champions of Champions boxing talk here. Well, we have a new champion, don't we? A new WBA regular welterweight champion. And he's familiar, isn't he, at being a world champion. In fact, he never seems to stop. He only ever takes a break. Manny Pacquiao beats Lucas Matthysse very, very dominantly. Now, the pattern of the fight was more or less similar to what I said in my prediction video, but much more dominant. You could times what I said to the performance by 10. Literally. I expected 4 rounds of nervous jeopardy before Manny Pacquiao really started going and getting going and attempting to back Lucas Matthysse up. But in this, from the very first bell, he was on it. He was on the ball. Lucas Matthysse just had no answers to what was in front of him. I'm going to say this. The question down the years has been, what would have happened with Manny Pacquiao and Marcus Maidana had Marcus Maidana, who fought Floyd Mayweather, fought Manny Pacquiao? If you want an answer, watch Lucas Matthysse v Manny Pacquiao over again. See, time and time again, people say, well, if Floyd struggled a little bit with Marcus Maidana, Manny Pacquiao would struggle. No, he wouldn't. Marcus Maidana could not run at Manny Pacquiao and throw cautious to the wind like he did Floyd Mayweather. He would get pieced up by Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, not only is he offensive, but he uses your momentum against you. He hits you with shots you don't see. He's more volume-esque than Floyd Mayweather. And by and large, he's a bigger puncher than Floyd Mayweather, despite Floyd being a bigger man. I know style-wise, Floyd beat him that night, but to other opponents, Manny is the more damaging fight than Floyd Mayweather. If Brandon Rios would have fought Floyd Mayweather, he'd have been schooled, beaten. Against Manny Pacquiao, he was brutalized. That's the difference. People say Conor McGregor went 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather, therefore he's going to get a unanimous decision against Manny Pacquiao. Let me tell you, that Manny Pacquiao last night takes Conor McGregor out in 3 rounds. 3 rounds. And this is a Manny Pacquiao who is at the twilight of his career. He's near the end, right? But still, he's dangerous. And he's shown that last night. As I say, he would break Marcus Maidana down. And the realization of styles make fights is not always clear to some boxing fans. One of the reasons why Lucas Matthysse struggled so much, and I seen it in training footage from Manny Pacquiao, he was using that right hand very much. A right hook, a jab, at speed, with accuracy, right? Whoever said that this boy was a one-handed fighter is very mistaken. Yes, his signature punch is the left hand, but let me tell you, he can use that right hand. He can. The jab, the hook, was really offsetting Lucas Matthysse and the foot speed and the speed in general. But you know what it was all down to? Manny Pacquiao is a boxer, and although he looked aggressive and offensive, when it was time to defend against shots and parry them, the guard went up, and when it was time to move out of range, he was out of range. And Lucas Matthysse was hitting air for most of the fight. Manny Pacquiao, like all the elite fighters, has the ability to adapt. That's what makes Manny Pacquiao, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, you name it, Bernard Hopkins, all the greats so special. They structure a pattern geared towards their opponent. And Manny Pacquiao was listening to his trainer, Buboy Fernandez, and applying exactly what Buboy was saying. I was surprised because with Buboy being Manny's friend, sometimes you have a tendency to overlook what a friend says and look to an authoritative figure like Freddie Roach. But Manny was taking on what Boo Boy was saying. And as I said, it was the ring IQ that was the key to this fight. Manny was the superior boxer, superior hand speed, superior athlete, better footwork, better speed, the quicker thinker. As I said, he is a quicker thinker than Lucas Matthysse. And a lot of people were saying, well, Manny Pacquiao does not have Victor Postol's reach. But when you can cover ground so fast like Manny Pacquiao, land a shot and be out again, that makes up sometimes for not having a long reach. And you know what Manny did? He made Lucas Matthysse use his feet. He made Lucas Matthysse have to dance around the ring to try and keep up with Manny Pacquiao. And that was zapping the energy out of Lucas Matthysse. And you know what we saw? Some good body shots in there. So whatever little speed Lucas did have, Manny turned him into a sitting duck within 3 rounds. And we talk about his left hand being a good punch, one of the best in boxing. But look at the variation he used. In most fights, Manny Pacquiao, it's a straight left. But in this, didn't he use the uppercut to devastating fashion? Dropping Lucas Matthysse in the 3rd round, then drops him with a right hand, a right hook, like a cross between a jab and a hook. And Lucas Matthysse, it was like he was frozen a moment of time. He didn't realise he was hurt till a few seconds later and he dropped down to the ground. Now, I used to see that with Naseem Hamed's opponents. He'd hit them and you'd think, oh, they've took that shot well. 5 seconds later, they'd be on the floor. What do Naseem Hamed and Manny Pacquiao in that sense have in common? They hit you with shots you don't see coming. You know what Manny Pacquiao's going to do, but you can't tell when he's going to do it. That is the problem. Box Nation in the UK, they were having to slow the video replay down so we could see the shots. In real time, I missed the knockdowns, all 3 of them. It was just like a blur. 1 minute Lucas was stood, the next minute he was on the floor. Lucas Matthysse then got up and galvanised himself, and before he knew it, he was back down. So, in a sense, it's astonishing. Manny Pacquiao took a year out the ring after a controversial fight with Jeff Horn. He changed trainers and then comes back and gives a performance like that. Exactly the same thing that he did when he got beat to Floyd Mayweather, come back and demolished poor Timothy Bradley and won the lineal title. Let me just say one thing. Although Manny Pacquiao was not in his prime, May 2, right, in 2015, isn't that win looking greater for Floyd Mayweather? In the sense that since Manny Pacquiao fought Floyd Mayweather, he's gone on to win 3 world titles. The lineal title against Timothy Bradley. He beat Jesse Vargas for the WBO welterweight title. He's beaten Lucas Matthysse for the WBA regular title. And by many people's opinion, he beat Jeff Horn in Australia. But what did I say about the difference between Lucas Matthysse and Jeff Horn? Youth, size, strength, speed, footwork. That was Jeff Horn's only shot, and he used it. And by look or by crook, somehow they gave it 9 rounds to 3 Jeff Horn. But Jeff Horn, that was the reason he survived round 9 v Manny Pacquiao, and why Lucas couldn't. Lucas plants his feet more than Jeff Horn. Now, as I've said before, Lucas Matthysse is a much bigger one-punch knockout artist than Jeff Horn. But Jeff Horn's punches in Brisbane were bouncing off Manny Pacquiao. The only reason Manny Pacquiao looked cut was because of the headbutts, right? I think Lucas Matthysse, right? People are now calling this guy because he lost. These are the same people that said Lucas Matthysse would knock Manny Pacquiao out, by the way. Lucas Matthysse just met a guy that was too good for him. And he was getting hit and hit with every shot from every angle as the fight wore on. And you know something? Manny Pacquiao had him psychologically. Manny Pacquiao right? He did the ultimate don't do in boxing. This is the thing that makes a Manny Pacquiao and Muhammad Ali different, and Floyd Mayweather. The styles you hope they don't apply, they apply, and it shocks the other guy. Lucas Matthysse did not think in a million years that Manny Pacquiao was going to be there, defending well, but fighting with him and beating him to the punch. In other words, saying to Lucas Matthysse, I've heard you're a puncher. What you going to do when you can't land and I can? And I'm going to be in your face and do it. And every time Manny Pacquiao landed a good shot, the crowd went wild. Wild. And I could just see Lucas Matthysse. It was like he was in sinking sand. He was going further down. And you know something? Lucas Matthysse, he disguised a shot in the 4th round quite well. A big right hand that landed on Manny Pacquiao. And I could see Lucas Matthysse hit him and then sort of look with joy for a second. And then he looked at Manny. And that same shot that Lucas Matthysse has been knocking guys down with for years, Manny Pacquiao didn't even blink. He just took that shot as though it was nothing. Which tells you the chin is still there. Because if you take a shot from Lucas Matthysse, you know about it. Lucas Matthysse, apart from that, his only hope was the low blows, which I was shocked at Lucas doing because he is a good sportsman. He's not a dirty fighter. But Manny beat him in the head. He beat him in the skill. It was the boxing. It was a front-forward boxing style he used. But nonetheless, the IQ again comes to the fore. It struck me a little bit like Joe Calzaghe v. Jeff Lacey. Everybody thought Joe be on the back foot, please, until you get the chance to pick your spots. What did Joe do? I've got better hand speed than this man. I'm quicker than this man. I'm more accurate than this man. I'm more experienced than this man. And the crowd love me. Manny did the same to Lucas Matthysse. What's extraordinary is, even though Lucas Matthysse was stopped by Victor Postol, Ruslan Provodnikov couldn't stop Lucas Matthysse. Danny Garcia couldn't stop Lucas Matthysse. Devin Alexander was... that fight could have gone either way against Lucas Matthysse. Zab Judah couldn't stop Lucas Matthysse. Lucas Matthysse finished Lamont Peterson quicker than Errol Spence did. Lucas Matthysse just met the wrong guy. He's not a bad fighter. He's a world-class fighter. Trust me. There were many people... Put it this way. Lucas Mathisse's resume of work is better than Jeff Horn's. He will go down in history, Lucas Matthysse, as a better fighter than Jeff Horn, no matter what happened last night. He's got more wins than Marcus Maidana. He's got the same number of defeats. Right? But it's styles. It's down to styles. Jeff Horn is nearly that big and young. He nearly has to kill himself, make him welterweight. He could fight at 154 pounds. And Jeff Horn is a much better fighter. We know that now after looking at Lucas. Jeff Horn is a much better fighter than any you imagine. Even though he's a dirty fighter and some of the stuff, I think what he does is not right. But he is a Marcus Maidana of Australia. Yes, he looked ordinary against Terence Crawford. But my God, that's Terence Crawford. That is a special fighter. He's at the pinnacle of his career right now, Terence Crawford. Bang at his prime, and Jeff Horn still went a good 9 rounds and could have carried on. Put it this way, Jeff Horn was not beat up as bad against Terence Crawford as Lucas Matthysse was against Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao's volume in this fight was over 366 punches thrown in just nearly 8 rounds. That's a higher volume than he threw. He threw 400 and something punches against Jeff Horn in 12 rounds. Can you imagine had it gone the distance? We may have got Manny in the 600 plus punch phase, which tells me he's had a very good training camp and not overtrained. But he did look sharp. He did look focused. He made Lucas Matthysse use footwork that Lucas Matthysse doesn't have. That was taking the energy out of him. And I don't care how good a trainer Joel Diaz is. It's just a genuine fact that you have to have a fighter that can apply your ideas. They have to have the tools to do it. And Lucas didn't have the tools. He was beat to the punch. And the more accurate puncher was Manny Pacquiao. And in fact, Manny Pacquiao's punches that did land had far more impact on Lucas Matthysse than Lucas's punches did on Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao has been hit by Miguel Cotto. Manny Pacquiao has been hit by Antonio Margarito. He's been hit by numerous big punches down the ears. Lucas Matthysse may actually have the most power of any puncher he's ever faced. Timothy Bradley thinks so. But make no mistake, Manny Pacquiao is experienced at taking a punch. And only the punch of Marquez, which had tremendous power, but also Manny's weight on it, and super accuracy that Manny didn't see coming, knocked Manny Pacquiao out. And another thing, notice when Manny Pacquiao dropped Lucas Matthysse and had him hurt. Lucas Matthysse went on the back foot thinking that Manny Pacquiao was going to dive in. This is the same thing that happened to Manny against Marquez. Only this time, the crowd and everyone at home was screaming at the television, "Finish him, Manny, finish him!" Manny was very measured and took his time. This is not the same guy who fought Marquez. That guy, I think, back then beats this Manny Pacquiao. I do. But this Manny Pacquiao, if there's one area he's improved in, it is defense. Defense. And when not to attack and when to attack. Sometimes that goes against him now. Because old Manny Pacquiao would blitz you away. But there was always that chance if you landed the right shot, you could get the victory. And that's what Marquez did. The brilliant Marquez took 4 fights to do it. The tremendous Marquez. One of the best counter-punchers we've ever seen. So Lucas Matthysse had it all to do right from the off. Before that, I just think that Lucas Matthysse had no idea that it was going to be as hard as it really was. I think he thought he was fighting not just a faded force, but a force that was kind of like Mike Tyson when he fought that Irish guy in his last heavyweight contest. Kevin McBride, that's his name. Manny Pacquiao is certainly not that. And wasn't Floyd Mayweather's prediction spot on? Floyd Mayweather said if Lucas Matthysse cannot box and move, he will get tore up in this fight. Everybody laughed at those comments from Floyd Mayweather because they said Lucas's way to win is always to attack. And Floyd Mayweather was saying, well, if his way to win is to attack, he's gonna lose. Because everybody is on the back foot virtually at some point being Manny Pacquiao. He just puts you there. And not necessarily with like massive pressure. It's the pressure of his movement and seeing where he's coming from and the angles he works. And of course when you get clipped time and time again, it is frustrating. And Oscar De La Hoya did say that. Now, Lucas Matthysse, could he have got up? I think he could have done, but it was inevitable. He'd have been taken out, right? I think that Joel Diaz and Team Matthysse thought if he gets up now, he could be beaten to a career-ending pulp, basically. And Lucas Matthysse does still have fights left in him. Had he got up, Manny Pacquiao could have really hurt him. He might have ended up on a stretcher like the other guy was, the Chinese guy in the other fight, right? But just going back to the right hand that Lucas Matthysse was looking to land consistently. Go back to Floyd Mayweather v Manny Pacquiao. You don't see Floyd Mayweather land as many crisp, sharp right hands against Manny as what used to be landed against Manny in the past. Not even Floyd could be that accurate against him. He won, yes, But it was a nick every round, wasn't it? It wasn't like Floyd couldn't miss with that left hand all night long. No, sometimes Floyd was finding it difficult to find Manny because Marquez has taught him a lesson. Marquez is probably as good a counterpuncher in his own right as Floyd. The difference is Marquez has such power that when you feel it, you will take that lesson. And Manny took it into the Floyd Mayweather fight. So it was hard to see how Lucas was going to do it. But it just goes to show Jesse Vargas, Timothy Bradley, Jeff Horn. When you look at what Manny did to Lucas Matthysse, people were calling these guys, saying they're not good opposition. They're far better fighters than you all give them credit for. It's just that guy whooped them. And what incredible fighting spirit that the guy who was commentating last night has in Chris Algieri. He got knocked down 6 times by Manny Pacquiao and kept getting up. And that was a Manny Pacquiao 4 years ago. A better version than the Manny today. What does the future hold? Well, let's look at this fight. He goes out on a showreel-esque performance. It's fairy tale stuff. He becomes a world champion again. With a vintage performance, a knockout. Against a knockout puncher. Against the guy that, again, a third of you were saying would beat Manny Pacquiao. A guy that Steve Lillis in the Box Nation studio said Manny Pacquiao would be leading and then get knocked out by Lucas Matthysse. But Steve Lillis, within 1 minute of the fight, turned to Steve Bunce and said, no, it's not happening. Manny's going to win. He just sensed it after a few seconds. But if you care about the fighter, wouldn't that be great if that was his last moment in the ring? You see him lift the belt on his own promotional card. His night. Isn't it better watching that than seeing Manny Pacquiao defeated by some young gun who would have not had a chance against him years ago? And you know who I'm talking about, the Garcias, the Furmans. They wouldn't beat vintage Pacquiao. Errol Spence, I don't think, would beat vintage Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao's movement would negate Errol Spence's ability to land body shots. I think he'd get the shock of his life trying to land those shots. And Manny could hit him because he's quicker, but Errol would find it difficult to find Manny. So these guys, one of them beats Manny Pacquiao. Do we want to see that? I think this is the perfect way to call it a day with Manny Pacquiao. But that's not going to happen, is it? Because it's Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao now, and we've always known it, has the same spirit as Muhammad Ali, as Evander Holyfield, as Roy Jones Jr., as Bernard Hopkins. They don't fight so you can write a perfect novel book story, as Joe Calzaghe, Floyd Mayweather, and Lennox Lewis have done. They fight because they want to fight. I don't even think it's financial with Manny. I just think he's a fighting man. But for his fans and for his family, I'd like it if he would consider that, like the performance Joe Calzaghe did against Roy Jones, made him look ordinary, like Manny made Lucas Matthysse look ordinary, Joe stepped away. Also one of the great southpaws like Manny Pacquiao. How about Manny do the same? Go out there as a champion, as one of the best welterweights still, hold your hand up and say, that's me. And what a story, and what a career. Will it ever be done again? No, it won't. It won't. But that's not going to happen. But what I do hope for Manny Pacquiao is Since that fight with Floyd Mayweather, he's fought 4 world champions. Tim Bradley, Vargas, Jeff Horn, and Lucas Matthysse. This guy has got a resume, and he wants to keep a resume. He's bold. I get the impression with Manny Pacquiao, if you tried to cause a fight as a big guy bully with him in a bar, everyone else would back off from the bully, but this guy would stand up and trade. That's the sort of human being he is. Floyd Mayweather may walk away and live to fight another day. That's not Manny's character. But what I do hope, he's fighting all these fighters younger than him and beating them. Manny Pacquiao deserves a softer touch. And what I mean is, he has to still train hard because only a punch it takes to beat someone. But Floyd Mayweather, I know we do criticise him, but it's unfair. Floyd Mayweather is being intelligent. He's being intelligent. When he fights Conor McGregor, when he fought Andre Berto, Floyd has got the names behind him to say that he's a terrific boxer and a historical fighter. Right? On record, unbeaten. People say what would have happened had he lost to Castillo that night. Nothing. Floyd would have still gone on and been who he is today. One of the very best of all time. But he's taking the fights that suit him. Manny needs to think more business now. MP Promotions is here. Have a farewell kind of tour, Manny. And you select your opponents that are not destroyers like the first 4 you fought after Floyd. Right? Because Keith Urban doesn't have a recent resume like this. You know what I mean? And he's a young guy. Manny Pacquiao should not have to fight champion after champion, killer after killer. Forget all those up the top there, Errol Spence and all that lot. Manny Pacquiao is from a different era. They've got to make their own way and make this their era. Audiences, I know, are struggling to get over Pacquiao and Mayweather. The Americans accepted Manny Pacquiao like Manny Pacquiao was Floyd Mayweather's brother. He's that popular. And you could see in Malaysia, the crowd was sold out. It's going to get good ratings again. You've seen what he did in Australia. The audience, it reminds me of Mike Tyson at the end of his career. The audiences are still there. He's as popular as ever. But we know Father Time does eventually tell, even on the greatest of them. So, if you're going to fight on, fight who you want, not who they want, right? I know it's in your heart to want to always beat and fight the best, but sometimes fighting the best is not always good for you. But I'm not Manny Pacquiao, am I? I'm talking from a guy who's I'm more of a coward than Manny Pacquiao will ever be. Manny Pacquiao is braver than I'll ever be. You have to be brave to be in politics. That just tells you the bravery of the guy. Politics is a deadly place, more deadly than boxing. But there he is in 2 vicious arenas. He's more braver than me. He believes in himself more than I believe in myself. That's the nature of the man. But just thinking strategically, take some fighters that you can beat. The fans deserve to see you have a good show reel, and you deserve it for yourself. Right? Forget Terence Crawford, forget Lomachenko, forget all them guys. You know, I know you think you're Rocky Balboa in real life, but even Rocky had a time when time was up. It will never change. What Manny Pacquiao has achieved will never go away, no matter what he does from here. But still, don't do any moves just because a fancy promoter tells you to. Don't do things just because Oscar De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, whoever it is, wants to make money off your back. See, these young guys know you're the money. This is what happened to David Haye. I must add, by the way, Manny Pacquiao, the fear was he looked like David Haye. He certainly didn't look like David Haye. You could tell Manny Pacquiao has looked after himself a bit better than the Haymaker, who's also a great fighter, David Haye. But we know Tony Bellew and Eddie Hearn were all making money off David Haye's back, because David Haye was the draw, but they knew they had a chance of beating the old man. And that's what they did. Do you really think that Tony Bellew would beat David Haye in his prime? I don't. I just don't. But here's the thing, it's the same with Manny Pacquiao. Terence Crawford knows that the public would believe, if he beat Manny Pacquiao, that he'd beat a prime version. And therefore, Terence Crawford is making the dough off Manny Pacquiao's back. Terence, I respect you. You're the best fighter in the world right now to me. But you can beat Errol Spence. You can beat Keith Thurman. You can beat these guys. Manny Pacquiao does not need Terence Crawford. And for legacy, Terence Crawford does not need Manny Pacquiao. It's just a payday, but then paydays will come for Crawford. And Terence Crawford has been very respectful of Manny Pacquiao. It sounds like I'm picking on him, but I'm just using that as an example. Terence Crawford even said Manny Pacquiao deserves to go out the way he wants to go out. Take Terence Crawford's advice, Manny. You were terrific last night. Maybe you would have beaten most fighters in the world on that performance last night. But you're an all-time great. That will never, ever change, no matter what. But I'm just thinking about the Filipino Flash and what he does from here. Terrific. He's the champion again. And this is Champions of Champions Boxing Talk. I'm out.